Ashik Krishnanji and Ashwini Shahji, Travelers University.
Hi all. I'm Ashik and he is Ashwini. Both of us, we find ourselves to be wanderers, seekers, at times storytellers, and also the co-creators of Travelers University. So we are here to share the story of Travelers University, our journey so far. So before that, let us have a look into the tradition of learning in this country. So if you look at the ancient times and the culture of learning that has been there, it had always been outside four walls. If you look at the tribal cultures, learning has always been as a medium of interaction with the forest, the various elements that are there around. And it is kind of ridiculous to see how it has transformed into something what we currently we see as schooling, like inside four walls. So Lord Macaulay, who brought in the current or the modern education system in India during the colonial period. So the modern education system was brought in to create individuals with limited skill sets to serve the British Empire. And whatever schooling system that we have currently is just an extension of the same, where instead of the British Empire, you serve the corporates and the capitalists. So now we move on to, so this being the context of the existence of Travelers University, we move on to what Travelers University is.
Hello. So Travelers University is basically a learning community to support individuals who want to travel and learn. That travel and learning is for deepening their understanding, deepening their knowledge about themselves, of the world at large, and who are looking for some alternative choices in education, who want to explore different ways to take power of their learning in their own hand and are not dependent on the external factors for their learning. It's a platform to nurture individuals, to encourage questions, and to push themselves by exposing them to traditional knowledge systems, to sustainable solutions happening all around the world, and to get them exposed, make them see things which are not available in the public domain, so that they can question the reality that we are living in. Learning ground. So what is a learning ground? Is it just the four walls of the classroom? It is just a book? It is just the internet? We at Travelers University believe that the whole universe is our learning ground, and one can learn from everyone. We can learn from a 2-year-old child to an 80-year-old grandfather or grandmother. So learning there is no stop for learning if we take that learning in our own hand. Travel. So travel can mean many things for many people. It has unlimited meanings for different people. So what are our philosophy of travel? We believe that travel it's an intrinsic part of one's learning. Travel helps us get diverse perspectives of different things. There's a newness in travel. We are meeting new people every day. We are going to new places. We are getting new experiences. And we become part of things which we wouldn't have been part if we wouldn't travel in our life. We believe travel to be one of the best teachers because we believe travel is universal in nature. Travel helps us drop stereotypes. It helps us build character. It helps us see things in a different light than which we wouldn't have seen if we wouldn't have been to those places, if we wouldn't have met different kind of people. It makes us see different kind of philosophies, see different kind of realities at the actual place, not just in terms of books or just reading it in terms. Slow down and connect. So travel for us, it's a mean to slow down from our day-to-day life. It is a mean to connect with oneself, with ourselves. It is a mean to connect with people around. And it is also a means to connect with nature around us. And for us, travel is more of an internal travel than the external travel. So it is how we are traveling inside through the external places that we are going or the people we are meeting. So where did this story started? Every story has a beginning. So this story started in around 2016 when Rahul, who is one of the co-creators of Travelers University, he embarked on he created a gap year project called the 52 Parinde, and his idea was to identify 52 people who are working on eco-conscious careers, who are working on livelihoods which are not affecting the environment, which are not affecting the people in an adverse way. So he said, I'll meet people, I'll stay with them for 1 week, and I'll document their stories. So he traveled all around India for more than 25,000 kilometers, meeting his idols, meeting his heroes, who are daily life people, storyteller, people working on farming, people working on theater, people working on arts, crafts, livelihood, potters, day-to-day people, otter conservists, butterfly conservists, careers which we don't hear about in the public domain or in the normal domain. So he documented their life stories in the video format, in book format, and the book is there on the 52 Parinde website. It's called 52parinde.in. And from there, throughout his journey, he met a lot of young people who kept on asking him, how can we embark on this journey with you? How can we do this for ourselves? So he realized that after the journey of 1 year, he realized travel is something which comes very, he felt at very peace while traveling. So he said, why not come up with a platform wherein this opportunity can be provided to other people also? So he came up with an idea of supporting travel learners. So travel learners are individuals. It could be anyone who want to explore a particular domain. It could be anything he wants to get deeper into it. So he said, okay, let me support them in their journey. We will co-design your journey. I will get you in touch with mentors, with facilitators who can help you embark on this journey, and will do that. So Ashik was one of the first travel learners, and he traveled for around 120 days in 7 states of India, exploring the different alternatives happening in the education sector, in the higher education, in the school education, all around the 7 states of India. Preksha, who is again the 4th member of the team, she did her journey around different philosophies of education. So she explored the Nai Talim, the Gandhian philosophy of education, the Krishnamurti philosophy of education, and the Aurobindo philosophy of education. So she stayed with different schools, working on the different philosophies. She had already read about those philosophies, but then this was her way of being in touch with that philosophy, how actually it is being implemented on the ground. And in January 2019, so after their journeys, Preksha and Ashik decided to be part of the group, and I joined in 2019. So in January 2019 was how the whole team got formed.
Yeah, so learning journeys or modern age yatras. So like since the last 2 days, we have been talking about yatras and like how each of us see yatras, like the various definitions of yatra we saw. And most of the definitions were around pilgrimages, of traveling to holy spaces, to confluence of rivers, to visit temples, and so on. The learning journeys that we design are more around the need of the current times. So there is a need to add more experiences, to add newer routes, and newer people too. So that's how we come up with learning journeys. So learning journeys are mostly week-long journeys on various themes, subjects, topics, which we design and offer it to the public. So whoever wishes to explore those themes and domains in detail, they can register themselves for the learning journeys. So I'll take you through a few of the learning journeys that we have done. So Nila Yatra was one which we did recently in Kerala. So Nila is the longest river in Kerala. It starts in the Anamalai, it originates in the Anamalai hills of Tamil Nadu and flows through 3 different districts of Thrissur, Palakkad and Malappuram, and enters the Arabian Sea. So here with Nila Yatra, we are primarily looking at the human-river connections. So there are these communities whose life and livelihood is very much connected to the river. For example, the Kumbharan community who is into pottery. So the clay that they use is sourced 4 meters away from the bank of the river. And there's another community which is into weaving grass mats. And to our best understanding, there's a very last people in Kerala who hand weaves grass mats. And this particular grass again grows along the bank of the river. And these grass mats, they last easily up to 50 years. So it's one of the traditional knowledge systems too that we were looking at. So like towards the end of the yatra, we were looking at the broader picture of the connection between education, ecology, and economics through the lenses of a river. Yeah. So those are some pictures, images from the Nila Yatra. Swaraj Yatra, yeah. So Gandhi has been one of the main proponents of the philosophy of Swaraj, or self-governance or self-rule in India. So in Swaraj Yatra, we are exploring this philosophy of Swaraj through various organizations, villages, communities who have imbibed this philosophy. So we did the Swaraj Yatra in rural Maharashtra, traveling through Wardha, Anandvan, Hemalkasa, Mendalekha, these regions. Seeing like how the different communities have imbibed the philosophy of Swaraj in them. And also the internal processes of the yatra were designed in such a way that the yatris define their own Swaraj towards the end of the yatra. Yep.
So we also do a cycle yatra. So this yatra we do with Sapadgamini network, and they have been doing this for 14 odd years. The whole yatra is called Bin Paise Cycle Yatra, and it is based on the concept of gift culture. Experiencing abundance. We are constantly being told that there's scarcity of everything. There's scarcity of resources, there's scarcity of money, there's scarcity of this, which has led to a lot of insecurity among us. And that is why there's a lot of competitiveness that is there in everyday life. But then our idea is to travel without any money, we travel without any mobile, we travel without any gadgets. It is just going on the go, going with a group of people with whom you believe in, and exploring the abundance which is there all around us. We stay with communities, we go to villages on the road, we ask for some shramdan, we do some shramdan with them, and for that they gave us shelter and food, which is an old age practice in India actually, but how to bring this back in our day-to-day lives. And the connections that we create, that when there is no transaction happening, when there is no money involved, the connections that we have made through these journeys have been lifelong journeys. So this yatra we do around once a year. We did this particular yatra around in the Mewar region, and we started from Udaipur and went back to Udaipur. Another yatra that we do is called Vimukt Shiksha Yatra. So in this we take people to places, to institutions which are exploring alternative learning spaces. So they are exploring different means of learning, which is, they believe that the current education system is not facilitating the need of the hour. So what are the different alternatives that can be proposed or that can be worked out? So they are experimenting on those things, and there are certain people who want to also see how these things are happening. So we take these people through these different institutions where the talks happens on what they are doing, how they are doing it. There's a lot of learning, and we also say unlearning which happens, because we have to unlearn a lot of things which has been imposed on us. So the processes are made in such a way that it happens through the journey. And collective dreaming. How do we dream a collective, because everything starts with education. So what is the new collective dream that we can dream through the journeys? These are some of the pictures of the journeys.
Oh yeah, transition from tourist to traveler. So this is a workshop that is very close to our hearts. So would you ever imagine that there could be a residential workshop for traveling, to inspire people to travel? So a few years ago, we ourselves wouldn't have imagined about this, or even now we ourselves wouldn't have attended such a workshop. But like this has come up as a need, and so we have been facilitating this workshop where we primarily talk about more sustainable means of traveling, how to travel in a frugal and sustainable fashion, and how to travel slow and long. But this is not just a travel workshop, in the sense that one cannot travel in a sustainable or frugal fashion until and unless they lead a sustainable and frugal life. So the various topics that we discuss during the workshop is along those lines. And we share about our own experiences, through our own experiences about the food, the different kinds of food, travel, transport, accommodation during traveling. So we see a larger purpose in travel. So hence we clearly we see a distinction between tourism and traveling, being a tourist and a traveler. So there's a larger purpose of learning to know about knowing oneself, right?
So going ahead, so the yatras and the workshop, they are basically 7 to 10 days. So those are more of the initiation kind of programs, wherein we are just telling people what we are doing and just getting them exposed to different things. But going forward, these are the long-term programs that we are coming, which we see there's a capacity of social change at the grassroots level. So the 52 Parinde Fellowship will be relaunched next year, wherein 3 fellows would be traveling. They would be living with different innovators for a week with them. They will be documenting their life stories. They will be documenting the livelihood which they are doing. And that documentation will be available on the public domain, so that the students of tomorrow who want to take up that occupation, that livelihood, they know whom they can make mentors. They know the processes, how to do that. And they will be documenting 16 stories each, and 4 stories will be documented by our team. So those 52 stories will be coming up, and this will be a 4-month fellowship. So we will be offering is this next year. Another yatra that we are planning is the Yatra of Alternatives. So as I told, there are a lot of organizations, there are individuals, there are processes. Somebody does those things on the Shrodh Yatra also. There are people who are working on the field at the grassroots level, common people, on careers which are eco-conscious, which are not trashing the world, working on preservation, environment, ecology, economics. So we will be taking 50 youth to these different places for 21 days, getting them exposed, aware of these different domains. And then we will be selecting 5 projects out of that, which will have the capacity for social change. So those projects will be incubated after the that 21 days journey. And we are also planning to mentor more travel facilitators, because as you see, most of our yatras, it happens across pan-India. And we as a team can do it just once a year. But what we are proposing is that the design is there on the available. It can be done by anyone. A Neela Yatra should be done. It can be done on each and every river. It's the story of every river. So can we make more individual facilitators who are local, who can bring that local knowledge, who can bring that local expertise, the local marketing, and then they do that yatras on their own, at their own, on pace and own, according to their own times. So we will be also mentoring more travel facilitators. So these are the broader programs going forward, and then as we go on, कारवां चलता रहेगा. अभी शुरुआत है. तो thank you for your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.